One banana peel. That's it. Something you have thrown in the trash. Every single week of your adult life quietly filters heavy metals, lead, mercury, and cadmium from contaminated water faster than most commercial systems that cost you $150 to $300. Researchers tested it. Universities confirmed it. Government-funded labs published the data. And a $40 billion water filtration industry has made absolutely sure you never connected those two dots. The substance inside that peel binds to toxic metal ions at a molecular level, a process called biosorption, and it does it with an efficiency rate that stunned the scientists who first measured it in controlled laboratory conditions. This is not folklore. This is not a wellness blog. This is peer-reviewed science that got one round of headlines and then completely disappeared. Stay with me, because what happened next and why it disappeared is the real story. In 2011, researchers at the Federal University of São Carlos in Brazil published findings that should have changed the way every American thinks about water purification. They discovered that dried, ground banana peel, a waste product that cost literally $0, could remove lead and copper from water samples with a removal efficiency of up to 97%. 97%. To put that number in context, many standard household water filters operating today remove heavy metals at rates between 85% and 95%, and they charge you $30 to $60 every few months just to replace the cartridge. The Brazilian study went through peer review. It was published. It was cited. And then, slowly, quietly, it was absorbed into the massive ocean of academic research that the general public is never meant to find. Because here is the uncomfortable truth about the water filtration industry in America: it is not built to give you the cleanest water possible. It is built to give you a system you must keep paying for. A banana peel generates zero recurring revenue, zero replacement cartridges, zero subscription filters, zero reason for you to open your wallet every 3 months for the rest of your life. Anything that cannot be monetized on a subscription model is a threat, and threats get buried. Now let's go deeper. Because this is not one study from one university. The biosorption properties of banana peel have been documented across more than 40 independent research papers spanning 3 continents. In 2012, the journal Analytical Methods published research showing banana peel biosorbent outperforming activated carbon, the gold standard used in commercial filters for removing certain heavy metal ions from water. In 2019, researchers in India tested banana peel powder against copper contamination in industrial wastewater. Removal rate, 95.2% within 30 minutes of contact time. In 2021, a study published in Environmental Science and Pollution Research confirmed that chemically unmodified banana peel, meaning completely raw, no lab processing required, demonstrated significant adsorption capacity for lead ions in aqueous solution. Let that land for a second. Unmodified, raw, the peel you just threw away this morning. Here's the science simplified. Banana peel is loaded with cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin, and carboxyl functional groups. These are the molecular structures that act like tiny magnets for positively charged heavy metal ions. When contaminated water passes over or through dried banana peel material, the metal ions bind to these functional groups and are physically pulled out of the water. No electricity. No replacement cartridges, no plastic housing that cracks after 18 months, no phone call to customer service, just chemistry, the same chemistry that has been sitting in your kitchen trash can every single week. Now stay with me. This next part is the knowledge they truly do not want you to hear. The global water purification market was valued at approximately $40 billion in 2023. In the United States alone, Americans spend over $4 billion per year on home water filtration systems and replacement filters. That is a $4 billion per year habit. Now ask yourself a simple question. What happens to that $4 billion if the average American family discovers that a waste product from a fruit that costs 19 cents a piece can filter the most dangerous contaminants from their tap water? The business model collapses. This is not a theory. This is how industrial suppression works. Not through dramatic boardroom decisions, not through shadowy phone calls, but through something far more mundane and far more effective: neglect, underfunding, silence. Academic research that threatens commercial products does not get amplified. It does not get translated into consumer language. It does not get picked up by the morning shows. It sits in a journal database that 99% of Americans will never open, cited by 12 other researchers and quietly forgotten. The water filter companies are not spending their lobbying dollars making sure banana peels stay illegal. They are spending their marketing dollars making sure you never think to look. And then something happened in 2023 that made all of this even harder to ignore. The Environmental Protection Agency, for the first time in over 25 years, updated its legal limit for lead in drinking water under the lead and copper rule improvements. Why? Because the agency was forced to admit that an estimated 9 to 12 million American homes still receive water through lead service lines, lead pipes. In 2023, in the wealthiest country on earth, the news cycle covered it for about 48 hours. There were concerned sound bites. There were promises of infrastructure funding. And then the conversation shifted, and every major outlet pivoted to promoting the same solution: buy a certified water filter. Specifically, the NSF Anson 53 certified filters, which, conveniently, retail between $150 and $350, with replacement cartridges required every 3 to 6 months. Not one mainstream article, not one, mentioned the 40-plus peer-reviewed studies sitting in the scientific record showing that a dried banana peel could address the same contamination problem for a cost that rounds to zero. Not one. And here is where the second layer of the story gets uncomfortable. It is not just the filter companies. The entire certified product industrial complex, the certification bodies, the retail distribution chains, the home improvement stores, all of it is built around the assumption that the solution to your water problem is a manufactured product. A banana peel cannot be certified. It cannot be boxed. It cannot be placed on a shelf at Home Depot with a QR code and a 90-day satisfaction guarantee. So it does not exist in the commercial conversation, even though it works. So what do you actually do with this information? Here is the exact process documented in the research and simplified for home use. Step 1. Take banana peels. Ripe peels work best. The browner the better, and cut them into small pieces. Lay them out and allow them to dry completely. You can sun-dry them for 2 to 3 days or dry them in an oven at the lowest possible setting for 4 to 6 hours. The goal is to remove all moisture. Step 2. Once fully dried, grind the peels into a fine powder. A basic blender or coffee grinder works. The finer the powder, the greater the surface area, and the greater the surface area, the higher the adsorption capacity. Step 3. For heavy metal filtration from water, place approximately 5 to 10 grams of banana peel powder per liter of water. Allow contact time of 20 to 30 minutes, stirring occasionally. Then filter the water through a fine mesh cloth or paper filter to remove the powder. Independent tests using this method on tap water samples showed measurable reductions in lead, copper, and cadmium, the 3 most common heavy metal contaminants in American municipal water systems. Important note: this method addresses heavy metal contamination specifically. It does not replace filtration for biological contaminants, chlorine, or pharmaceutical residues. If your primary concern is bacteria or viral contamination, you need an additional step. But for the 12 million American homes with lead pipe concerns, this is a real researched zero-cost intervention that the industry has spent $0 telling you about. One Texas family tested their tap water before and after banana peel filtration using a home heavy metals test kit. Lead levels dropped from 8.2 parts per billion to below the detectable limit of their test strip. Their previous filter system, a $180 undersink unit, had been reducing their lead to 4.1 parts per billion, still above what the American Academy of Pediatrics considers safe for children. A dried banana peel, ground in a $15 coffee grinder, outperformed it. Here is what this is really about. It is not about banana peels. It is about a system that profits from your dependency and the quiet, relentless work of making sure you never discover that the solutions to your most basic problems are sometimes sitting in your trash can. Researchers figured this out, published it, proved it, multiple times, on multiple continents, in multiple peer-reviewed journals. And the gap between what science knows and what you are allowed to casually know, That gap is not an accident. It is a business model. Your grandmother did not have a $200 water filtration system. She had knowledge about the natural world that got methodically replaced, generation by generation, with products, subscriptions, and the quiet suggestion that you are not smart enough to solve your own problems without purchasing the approved solution first. But today, right here, watching this, you just reconnected with something they spent decades making sure you would not find. The science is real, the method is documented, the cost is zero. And the only thing standing between you and that knowledge was a YouTube algorithm and the 15 minutes you just spent here. Subscribe. Share this with someone whose water bill or filter bill you care about. Every share is one more person the industry cannot keep in the dark. The next vault we open contains something even more suppressed. A mineral that municipal water systems add to your tap water, that a 2022 Harvard study quietly linked to measurable IQ reduction in children, and the absolutely breathtaking reason why it is still there. That vault opens soon.